see like a battery. I'm staying charged on my feet. I'm like a factory. Dropping lines like an assembly.
How you doing, guys? Welcome to ZukaTube, and today we're going to be reviewing a movie called Malignant. Just came out September 10th of this year, 2021, and let me tell you, this movie is wild. Like, okay, so like if you've already seen this, you obviously know what the hell I'm talking about, right? But if you haven't, I'm going to play this promo. I'm going to give you a little bit of summary stuff, like just talk about some stuff that's going on, play a couple clips. Then I'm going to go into spoilers in the end after my review. There might be a little bit of spoilers in it too, here and there in random parts, because I just can't help myself. And the way the trailer plays is different than obviously what the beginning summary stuff it plays out. So it might spoil some things here or there. So warning right away on that one, right? But let's get right into this trailer.
When I was young, something happened to me.
Uh-oh, something happened to her when she was young.
Who are you talking to? Gabriel. Is he your
An imaginary friend.
Whatever you went through before you joined our family,
Dun, dun.
it hurt you in a way that I can't even imagine. You created him
Daddy, what's going on?
so that you could survive.
They say she created him.
I wanted to do something that was a bit different, but yet hark back to my roots. You gotta take chances. If you don't, you end up making
Yeah, now
the
James
same old
Wan
thing
did
again
this.
and
That's
again
why I
and
didn't
again.
really say much about this, because
I
this
think
trailer
audiences are
thing kind of
starved
has a
for
little bit
something
of
that's new and
commentary. Da, da, da.
We are gonna
Really
turn back
epic
the hands of
shots in
time.
this. Like,
Close
it's
your
all
eyes.
over the place with the way they shoot the movie, but the shots are really epic. Like, look at that. Man, what a cool looking thing there.
He's there too. Who is he?
Uh-oh, he's there, man. Dun dun.
Gabriel. Who is Gabriel?
I'm the only one that can see him.
A lot of paranormal looking stuff going on here, you know.
That's him.
You see her getting
He
investigated.
wants to talk to you.
Damn. Look at that shot. Like all the different shots are really cool. Malignant. I love that they just did that at the end. They were like, malignant. Like, yo, that was epic. Because the shots were ridiculous, like over the top, spooky, tons of actions. Like, let me tell you about this movie first off. It's all over the place. It's a horror movie, then like kind of a suspense thriller, you know, like you got a mystery to solve type deal. Then like kind of an action movie, then kind of horror, then like, I don't know, damn near a kung fu movie. Like, what the hell is going on? But not to deter you from this movie, because I do have a lot of positive things to say about this. This is not like a downing review here. Let me just throw that out there right off the jump. Okay, so it starts off in this creepy, like, haunted ass like medical facility, and it shows them talking about like this kid named Gabriel and the tests on him failing and getting tranked after attacking people and like killing a bunch of nurses and crap, right? And they gotta like keep this kid imprisoned, and he's like a demon creature or something, and it feeds off electricity and like can broadcast his thoughts through like the radio and shit like that, right? Well, either way, it cuts to present day, right? And you see this pregnant lady, Madison, you know, coming home to her husband. And he's like, this dude, Derek, he's acting like a kind of careless guy who's fed up with her dreams of having a baby because she had like a couple miscarriages, right? And like, you know, she gets abused by him. And Derek ends up sleeping the night on the couch and wakes up to mad paranormal shit going down that you see in the trailer, right? And this like ghostly figure attacks him and kills him. Later on, Madison wakes up and finds him dead and gets chased by the thing and knocked out, right? But let me just tell you, there's some really like great shots in this whole thing, and it's really cool the way they do this paranormal stuff, right? And a bunch of cops are shown at the home, and there's it's like a home invasion, right? And Madison's in the hospital, and she wakes up, and the sister is saying that Derek died and she lost her baby, and she's super traumatized by her. Detective comes by investigating what could have happened, and like she's like practically in a coma at this point, very traumatized, right? And they're thinking she committed the murder, although her ass was knocked out in a room upstairs post murder of the guy, like where the door got kicked in, where she was trying to hide from this person, the way it plays out, right? So that's a little kind of silly that they didn't kind of put 2 and 2 together on that whole thing. But either way, right? It notes to like, you know, basically Madison getting like home and kind of right away again chased by someone or something shortly after, with like spooky paranormal stuff happening and like great overhead angles of the home and everything like that. So let me just play a clip of like some of the cool shots again that I've been saying about this movie. Like she's running from something. Could be invisible, could be visible, could be both. Who knows? It seems like it's both. Is it this imaginary friend we saw in the trailer? Or didn't see, technically? Or did see? Who knows? But what? Look, she's like, what the hell? But look at that, right over top from the, like, overhead shots, right? But then when she comes upstairs, she obviously starts getting closer to the camera, and it just looks really cool, panning through, going through made in The Sims or some shit, right? Like, pretty epic stuff. So, I think this is, like, really, really cool. Definitely really interesting stuff to check out. I definitely recommend if you're into cool shots of like spooky shit and just neat angles. There's a lot of it in this movie. But either way, right? They show her like determined to amp up security and get the thing out of her house, and like her sister's freaked out, as well as Madison, obviously. And they stress that Madison is adopted and shit like that, right? Which they get into later too as well. And they show a tour of like old Seattle and a tour guide about to leave work, and paranormal shit goes down, and she's attacked by a demon lady thing, right? And she's later then tied up in an attic while demon lady rummages around, and it turns out it's this Gabriel dude, right? And it's not like a demon lady. I thought it was a demon lady, but maybe I'm onto something, right? But either way, this is just from my notes from as I'm watching the movie type deal, right? And he calls the old doctor from the beginning, and like Gabriel's back on the loose, and I guess that's like the whole, you know, it has a connection, you know, but what's the whole connection to Madison, right? That they keep hinting at here. But either way, before I get too much into it, I want to not spoil too much, because there's a lot of things that you can kind of piece together a little bit on your own from the trailer, from what I've said so far. And there's even more stuff that I haven't really gone into that kind of is like random twists to the story. But either way, I'm going to give this like a solid 7 out of 10. It's entertaining. That's the one thing I got to say about the movie. It's entertaining. It's hard to take seriously as a horror movie in some aspects because of how much it bounces to like the kind of action or like over the top action, like kung fu movie type shit that I'll talk about, or like, you know, how it kind of goes to more of like a mystery thriller sometimes. So it goes a little all over the place, and but I do really like a lot of the shots in it, and I do like the over the top shit that they kind of attempt to do with this movie. It's just fun. It's definitely fun. I do recommend it, that's for sure. But let me get into spoilers and just start really going into this here. Spoilers. Bing, boom, bing, boom, boom, boom. Spoiled. Okay, so from there it goes to like Gabriel, like he's like the goth looking Undertaker dude, or like a guy from like Mushroom Head or something, basically this dude looks like. And Madison's connection is like maybe it gets her like the ability they show for her to portal into the place that Gabriel's at and watch him doing something. So it portals over and it shows her being able to see Gabriel killing the doctor, or at least see visions of it, right? And she's confused on how she's able to see this. And it flashes to the guard from the beginning, in present day, hearing about the doctor's death and then getting attacked by Gabriel and killed, while Madison gets thrown into the illusion and to see him die, but Gabriel notices her, right? And she goes into like, you know, basically to the detectives, right? And tells them that she's bonded to this killer somehow, right? And shows like ridiculous, like sloth Goonies looking monster drawing for the police, and it's really funny to see when it pops up, right? But she talks to Gabriel, and he knows her and is retaliating for what people did to them, right? He says in this. And Madison goes to ask her mom about Gabriel and sees the video of her like talking to the invisible friend, Gabriel, right? And it shows Madison like ported into another room where the doctor is about to get attacked by Gabriel, but the detectives were alerted, you know, ahead of time. And the detective and Gabriel get into a big brawl, and there's like a chase scene. And then like Gabriel like got like this weird like, this dude's got like this weird like alien monkey arm and leg kind of thing, and does like crazy maneuvers and gets away, and it's just like goes into total action in this movie, like from all the horror stuff in the beginning. So that's really bizarre, and I was like, what the hell is going on? But they keep investigating with Madison, going into her memories to find out more about him, and they show Gabriel is her imaginary friend brought to life, right? And they showed the lady in the attic that falls through was in Madison's house. So what the hell, right? And they arrest Madison, trying to say that she's Gabriel, right? Hint, hint, right? And Gabriel calls the detectives and threatens them. And the sister finds out she came from a place called Simeon, some haunted looking place, right? From the beginning that they show where the doctors were. And she goes there, and it's this giant castle looking place, right? And the average person couldn't find anything in this place, but within minutes, she finds a box that's nice and clean with her whole identity of this character and her upbringing in it. And I'm like, obviously, of course, hundreds of rooms, but of course, right? And found out she had a twin, and her real mom was the lady in the attic, right? And the twin was a parasitic twin attached to the back of her body. And they removed that shit. And it shows Madison and part of it got stuffed back in her head, right? And it shows Madison getting attacked by other women detained. And a twist again. Gabriel is hijacking and using her body to kill these people, right? So the head like hatches and like exposes itself, and like its body twists around, and she gets possessed and stuff, and attacks all the ladies in violent fashion and breaks out of the cell, right? So let me just show you a clip of this. Look, lady mullet madness over there, and the lady with the fro, and whooped. Ah, dang, dude, like look at that. And you see like the back of her head is this like demon face that crawls out of her skull that came from when she originally got abused by her husband and awakens it, and it like cracked her head open. But like her face is on the other side, like, and the body's all people backwards. Like, what the hell kind of crazy stuff is that, right? I was like, what the fuck, man? It's just wild, right? And the sister and the detectives are all on the way to find her, and she shows up at the station doing crazy mutant kung fu matrix shit all over the place, killing them all. And this is where it just gets so ridiculously over the top, right? And the detective, it's like this big boss battle type deal, right? Oh my God, right? And it turns out like Gabriel's feeding off her babies and killed them all to basically grow and to basically, you know, do all this. And it's nuts, right? But look at this scene of this like kung fu matrix shit. If that's what it reminds me of, it's out of control. Like, this is so out of control. Like, okay, so you mean to tell me that just because you get this weird parasitic twin, that it has paranormal abilities to communicate through the radio, control electricity, pop through your head, contort your body, and turn you into some mutant acrobat, super strong ninja. It's just nuts. It's totally nuts, and it's off the wall, but I do enjoy it. And that's the one thing I got to say, right? And it starts like, it shows Gabriel like kill the sister and the birth mother, but then like Madison starts fighting back in the mind, and it was all a trick, and he didn't kill the sister or the mom, and she locks him in a mental prison and crawls back into her head, and she uses mad strength to like lift the hospital bed off her sister, because like if Gabriel had the power, then so did she, yeah, and like does like this corny family isn't always blood type line and the whole deal, right? But the movie is out of control. I recommend people watch this just because it's just wild, and it's fun to talk about, and just it's all kind of movies in one. I gotta say that. Again, 7 out of 10. Definitely check this out. Malignant. Zookatube out.
What it do, what you see, like a battery. I'm staying charged on my feet, I'm like a factory. Dropping lines like an assembly. I'm staying on point, it's my strategy. Feel like they're tracking me. Yo, let me get on one.